Good, here we go. We'll have the evidence. Hi, my name's Lee. I'm your room monitor today. We want you to know that our presenters today are volunteers. The best way to thank them is to provide honest and useful feedback with a session evaluation form at the conclusion of our session today. Our fearless tech master, Jean, will drop that evaluation into the chat toward the end of the session. If you miss it, don't worry. We will follow up with an email at the conclusion. If you are not speaking, please remember to keep yourself on mute to avoid background noise. We have a fun and interactive session planned today. If you want to see the speaker and make the presentation smaller, drag the speaker window to the left. I hope that works on your machine. Thank you. And now let me introduce our speakers. Kim Province is Area G1 Director. Dave Friedman is an international speaker and corporate trainer. Both have several years of experience with Pathways. Please welcome Kim and Dave.
Thank you so much, Lee, for that kind introduction. And thank you, Dave, for joining me today to talk about why I'm passionate about Pathways and how I've made it work for myself and some of our Toastmasters members. We really hope that by attending today, that you'll get some tools and some tips and tricks on not only to help yourself, but to help new members and members of your Toastmasters Club get the most out of Pathways. Next slide, please, Dave. You're on mute.
That's too bad, because what I said was really important.
I'm sure it was.
So you came here to learn a little bit about Pathways, to kind of demystify it. Some of us have been around a little while. We remember the beginning of Pathways, where you went from those hard books into this thing that was online that kind of made no sense. We're here to demystify it for you today. We've got some tips and some tricks, and this will be fun. I'm curious, those of you who came out to learn a little bit about Pathways this afternoon, what would you like to learn? What are some of the things that you hope to pick up as we wander down our Pathways journey together? And you can just turn on your mic and speak up. I can't really see everybody.
So we're hoping that this is going to be an interactive. Easy for me to say. An interactive presentation. Everybody in this room that I see here at this particular point in time are pros by this time with Pathways. So what is it that brought you here today, AJ?
So for me, I am dealing with the constant challenge of that person that says, but I love the Competent Communicator Manual. I'm not moving towards Pathways unless you tear my fingers off of my Competent Communicator Manual. What tips and tricks do you have for me to get that person moving forward?
Okay, I do have one for you. But with that, anybody else? Okay, Dave, moving along.
The underappreciated. AJ, I was just thinking, I believe that there is a competent communicator area at the Science Museum. There's an exhibit going on next week.
That was almost 100-year-old manual. Do you know that, AJ? Okay.
I do, but people are resistant to change.
Absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Well,
so Pathways is an unappreciated tool. And I don't really know, we talked a little bit about the company. I never even seen that manual, AJ. I wanted it so bad when I started with Toastmasters just 4 years ago. Nobody in my club liked Pathways. They had competent communicator manuals, but I didn't. So the only choice that I had was to really dig into Pathways and figure out what it was all about. But after going to area directors trainings, talking passionately about Pathways on other presentations, I learned that Toastmasters married another company that actually sells this material to Fortune 500 companies. The Pathways material is for companies like Nabisco and Citi Financial to develop their emerging leaders in their companies. Can you imagine how much money they had to pay? And we have access to all this through Pathways for a mere $45 for 6 months. Seriously, it's a gift. And I'm really grateful that Pathways is, or that Toastmasters took on that challenge and is getting all of us to be passionate about Pathways.
One of the big differences, AJ, that I have found between the books and the paths is the books, you did your communicator and then you did your communicator. And then you went over here and you did your leadership. The way Pathways is laid out is everything is part of each path. And you almost get your confidence in your leadership skills without even trying. It's painless. And so they've done a really nice job of incorporating everything that the books had and more in a very easy to follow path. Now, granted, they've had some tripping over the cracks in the sidewalk as they've built the user interface, and that also has gotten to be a lot better. But to follow the Pathways path makes our journey through Toastmasters so much easier, so much vibrant, and adds an awful lot to the adventure.
Well, I appreciate that, because when I first started down this road, very similar to Kim, I walked into a Toastmasters club, checkbook in hand, signed in, signed up, didn't even know what I was signing up for. The club loved me, but at the same time, I didn't know what I didn't know. Sure enough, I wound up like Kim with only Pathways as the way of learning. I started, but when I went to make my icebreaker, everyone in the room looked at me and said, "We don't speak Pathways. We're competent communicator manual people. We don't know how to give you an evaluation." They actually had to bring in a Pathways guide to do my evaluation of my icebreaker. But then I found Susan Thompson and her group, and I hung out with Susan Thompson and her group, and she showed me all the magical insides to Pathways. So I'm glad to see her here today. Thank you, Susan Thompson, for taking us boldly where no Toastmaster has gone before.
And now you love it.
AJ, we have so much in common. Same thing with me. I got stuck. Nobody knew how to help me. I ended up in Susan's room and I was like, wow. So I am definitely the best tool out there for Pathways, and VPE's there. But while we talk, I did see that somebody was coming today because they wanted to know more about navigation. And Toastmasters has really listened to the things that we have told them that we didn't like. In a few minutes, I'm going to show you where you can get the printed materials for every path for an additional price. So Dave, why don't you walk us through what the new website looks like? We know that it always changes, but I'll tell you, once you get used to it, it's always for the better.
Pathways is an educational program. So far, so good. So we pick on there, and you've got all of these options.
As
All
you
of
saw, we went through go to Basecamp,
So we want to go to Basecamp.
but we're not going to go to Basecamp
We
now.
want
I'm
to go
just
to
saying.
Pathways. There's 2 or 3 different ways to go here. We're going to take you the long way because it's got more information. It shows you where the hard copies are, and the flowers are better on this path. So educational programs, pathways, and then you have all of this. And see down here, you can go directly to it once you know where you're going. Real world transferable skills. This is huge. And we'll show a little bit about that later. Would you like to see what kind of paths are available? You can do that, or you can do this. So let's go down here. And here's all of your paths. And these are live links. You can see what's going on. We'll get back to that in a minute because we're going to end up there. So you might not know what path you want, so you might want to choose a path. Again, this is the long way. English, Spanish, any language you like. Would you like to get your material online, or would you like to have it sent to you for a mere $25?
You get the entire path sent to you in a catalog.
Now, there's two things you can do. You can take an assessment, which kind of guides you in the direction that you'd like, that they think you'd like to go based on the questions. But what I tell people is, it's a thought. You don't have to listen to it, but it's always interesting to see what comes out. We're going to show you today how to view all path options. This is a very intuitive and exciting screen full of information. Here are the paths. Here's a little blurb about what they are. And here, for instance, is what they do. Innovative planning.
Innovative planning.
Helps build your skills as a public speaker, leader, and project manager. So they talk about solutions, building public speaking skills. This looks like something we want to look into. So what has that got? One of the cool things about pathways is that every single path is consistent about the way you learn the material. You start at the beginning, learning the fundamentals. And the people who have done this before, yes, you have to do another icebreaker. But that's okay because we grow. And it's interesting to share something else that we didn't share with them last path. So here's all of the foundations. Here's learning your style. In every single path, it brings it now home, starting to personalize for it. Then what it does is it increases your knowledge, builds your skills, and gives you a chance to actually go out there and experiment with it.
I would like to, while you were just talking about the redundancy of it, when I was on my second path, level 2 leadership style, I learned so much about my leadership style, what I did like and didn't like from my first path, that by the time I got to my second path, I had made some true corrections to my leadership style. So it also helps you to see the advancements that you're making, not only in communication, but your leadership growth.
I'll vouch for that.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, you're welcome. So this is the way this goes. And you can really just look in here and see what it is. Now, all of these opportunities here, pick 2 of them, whatever you like. And within each project, it helps you work on your ums and ahs and your gestures and all the stuff that we've learned to become a more effective communicator and leader, not just a good speaker. Any questions at this time?
Hi, hello. Hello?
Go ahead.
Hi, Brian.
So how does this actually change your meeting? Like when I show up, like what do I do differently compared to what I've been doing before? Like with pathways? Like what actually am I doing differently, like during the meeting?
I don't think you're doing anything different. What we're doing here today, Brian, is giving you tools to help people plan on pathways. We hear in the district that we have some people that really like the online presence of pathways, but others that want it in a paper format. So we just went through where, when you're brand new, you can show somebody. For me, I was choose a path. I had not a clue what projects were ahead of me. I'm in the working world, and I didn't also realize that I can do some of the projects in pathways at work as long as I talked with my VPE. And Dave's going to show you right now that where we just showed everybody how you can get there online, you can also get a catalog. And I'm going to let Dave show you where this catalog is available, or
Okay,
what
so
you
is
can
it-
do in this catalog. So did I kind of answer your question? This isn't
So
really.
so it just offers like the supplementary material on different stuff to focus on.
Yes.
So like, how do you actually probably a lot of these questions will be answered as we go through it. I'll save my questions for a little bit later.
So no, how do you actually what? I would love.
Oh, I was
to hear
saying
your
like, how do you
question.
actually like finish a pathway? Like, how do they measure that?
You do that by following the path. And when you get to the very end of path of level 5, there is a chance that you have to go ahead and go over what you've learned, notate it,
Yeah,
understand it. Sometimes you get to give another talk to
Gotcha.
explain to your group. Now, quite honestly, this is a really nice thing because, as you may know, we learn best by teaching. So
Okay.
having to go back over what you just learned and having to teach it to somebody else really gets it in you. I call it like twice baked potatoes. You really put that level of finish on it. And then you click a button and your BPE says, yes, you did do that. And that's how you finish it.
So that's level 5. So then levels 1 through 4, would you just be like learning them as you go? Like, for example, like if you were doing icebreakers, right? Like, how would you like graduate from like the icebreaker bullet point to the next one? Or do you just gradually do that during every speech?
Functionally, you push a button and it's got a check mark on it. And then you go to the next one. It's pretty
Gotcha.
user
So like
friendly.
online, like it keeps track of it for you. Okay, I see.
This is a great Monday night Susan Thompson thing.
I
to
was
go
gonna
through.
say, we're gonna also talk a bit about a pathways workshop today that can help you get from one level to the next level. So in every path you have, it sounds like you could be on level 1 doing your icebreaker, preparing your speech. And once you do all of the projects on that level, you go to the second level. And then there's the third level. So Dave, if you go to the catalog, we can actually show him the different progressions and where he can see what's coming up next.
Well, I'm at the catalog now, for those of you who like pieces of paper. So this is the PDF, and you can see it looks just like online, only it's different. And here's the table of contents. All these are live links, by the way, so you can get to wherever you need to be. And then look, it's got all of these different paths laid out with live links. So there's the icebreaker, for instance. And when you get done, Brian, this is just functionality, quite honestly.
Okay.
You'll get this.
Is this the supplementary payment online that you were saying about?
Yes, it's actually, we're going to give you the link to it in the program that you're getting today. Jean Cassidy is going to be sending all of the tools and the tricks that we have. We're going to send them with you so that you can get there too.
And
Okay,
it looks
sounds
like,
good.
see, I wasn't prepared to push buttons. And
They
so
were, I've put them all in the chat. Did everyone get to see the zip file?
I think if you put it in again right before you do the survey, because if they weren't in the room when you sent the link, they don't have access to that chat. Dave, are you resharing that?
I'm waiting to see what it is that I have to reshare so y'all don't have to watch me trip over myself. Yes.
Perfect.
So we're here. And one of the things that's really cool about having it laid out like this, and Kim started to address this when she said she's working on this at work, but she has to coordinate, which in other words, we get an opportunity to use what we do in our real lives towards finishing up our paths. And I'm going to show you a for instance. I'm doing engaging humor right now. Here are all the levels and everything you need to do for engaging humor. Well, look, through my life, I do a blog. So there's write a compelling blog, work out with my VPE, and I've got this elective already covered. I speak, I give a sermon a couple of times a month, prepare to speak professionally. Boom, work it out with my BPE, and I've got electives here, and so on and so forth. So think about what it is that you do for your job or for your Rotary Club or for your anything that you're involved in, and see if what you're doing out in the world can really help you to move through your path.
I'd like to make a quick point. Write a compelling blog. Even though you've wrote a compelling blog, that doesn't mean you completed your project in Pathways. You still have to go to Pathways, see what they're asking you to do. So Dave had been writing a blog for 2 years, and it turned out that he had to give a 5 to 7 minute speech in our club on his blog and what he's learned from it. So it's not as simple as, oh yeah, I gave a sermon, I'm writing off that project. Each project in Pathways will give you the purpose of it and what you need to do to complete it. Mark that box, Brian, and move on to the next project. This is just helping you gauge with what's coming ahead of you. I don't think I liked Pathways in the get-go because it was like, okay, but what's next? I'm a forward thinker. I want to know what's around the corner. That's just how I operate.
So we've just given up an awful lot of information, and time to ask for more questions if you like.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Dave.
Related to this PDF file, this is an excellent PDF file, and this was worth the price of admission to this session, just finally getting this PDF file. I've been looking for this for a couple of years. My question then is, where is this PDF file coming from? Because this is now version 5, and there were earlier versions. If someone now updates this and we go to version 6, where am I going to find this without going to another lay session somewhere down the road?
So I'm going to ask Kathy Hughes to answer that question because she helped me find this updated version.
This is not available very easily on the Toastmasters website. You do any manner of searching through the search engine and you won't find it. And one tip and trick that I learned over time is sometimes you will find Toastmasters materials easier with a Google search than you can find it on the website. But it will be updated and you can find the version with a simple Google search now that you know the document name.
Thank you.
Okay.
Moving on. There's another thing when you come into Toastmasters and you're chosen to choose a path. We don't know the easiest path. Some people want to get in and finish a path as soon as they possibly can. Well, Susan Thompson shared this with me. Charlotte Drake created this where she analyzed every single path and project within them, and she put this into Group A, Group B, and Group C. Group A being the simplest. Group C, most of them have an HPL project. What's an HPL project? A high leadership project.
High performance leadership.
Thank you. High performance leadership project. You may find one path in Group B that has one of those projects. But this is a great tool when people come to you as a mentor or an executive VP of education or the president of your club. This tool right here helps you lead people. I came in, I went straight to the dynamic leadership and bypassed leadership development. It's just where I was in my career path and what I needed most from Toastmasters.
One of the benefits of Pathways is that it is malleable. You don't have to start from 1 and go up to 10, because if you've already got some experience like Kim did, you want to start more at Group B because you're already somewhat experienced in your leadership and you want to take that next step. That makes sense to everybody? Now I'm going to stop this share and show you again how we can help people on their path figure out what it is that they would like to do and how they like to do it, because some people really like to see what it is that they have in front of them. So what we're going to do is show you this. I'll just move this down so you can see this. This is a way to lay out a schedule. So let's show you how this is going to work.
We're going to do a simple role play. I am a new member. I have joined probably a month ago, and I just picked what path did I pick, Dave?
You picked a high performance leadership path. I don't know what it's called. Dynamic leadership.
Okay, I picked dynamic leadership. What this tool did, my vice president of education asked me, what are you looking to do? I said, I want to be a better leader. I tend to control the whole thing, and I need to learn to push things out, and I need to do it as soon as possible because I'm trying to get a promotion at work.
When
So
would you like to
utilizing
start?
this tool,
When would you like to start, Kim?
I would like to start next week, Dave.
Okay, so that would be February, say 6th.
Okay,
So you're now scheduled to do your icebreaker on February 6th, Monday night meeting. Ready?
yep,
We'll look at that. All the dates changed. And if you do this once every 3 weeks, you will have finished this path by next year at this time. Is that okay with you?
next year.
Next
I think I can give a speech every 2 weeks, Dave.
Every 2 weeks. Well, Kim, let's show you how this works. I don't know if you guys can see up here, but it's the cell before plus 21 days. I'm pointing at it. I know you can't see me pointing. So every 2 weeks is 14 days, right? So now
Yep.
we hit it to 14 days, and now it's every 2 weeks. Oh, you have to copy and paste it all the way down.
Okay, okay, I get what you're saying. You can change that all the way down. Okay, here we go.
So now you'll be done in October.
Oh, much better. That promotion that I want, I need it by the beginning of next year. Okay, perfect.
Oh,
Yes,
great.
I'm gonna do it every 2 weeks. Let me see. Oh, Dave, I'm on vacation the week of April 17th, so I won't be able to do that speech on.
I'm
April
sorry, Kim, you can't
17th.
go on vacation. You have to do this path.
So I'm not going to be able to serve as a speech evaluator on 4/17.
So you'll be here the week after?
Yes,
Okay, so we'll change 4/17 to what's that would be 4/24, right?
yes.
And everything changed, and they'll just push it out a couple weeks. Now you're done in November.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
So you guys see how that works? How you can sit with your new people in your club and actually show them what it is. And then when you finish a project, you put the project here, how I did that, you know. And then there you go.
Yep.
And then you have an absolute idea of what you did, why, and how. And it's really nice to be able to look back and see your personal growth. You guys good with that so far?
Something, Dave, if you can show them what's on the right-hand side of this spreadsheet.
Whoop. Yeah, I can.
So I came in and I said, I want to be a better leader. So right then and there on this sheet, as the VPE or president of your club, or even somebody's mentor, you can show them. Please go up a little bit, Dave. Okay, you want to improve your leadership skills. What you want to do when you start is fill every role in our club. Okay, I can do that. And here's some leadership opportunities that Toastmasters will provide you. Mentor another member, be a club officer, be a district director. And the DTM, the Distinguished Toastmaster Club. It even gives you a short example of what you need to do to become a DTM. But wait, there's more. The second tab on this sheet allows you to keep track of where you are. I'm definitely on my path to be a DTM because I started a club last year. but all of a sudden you forget what you've done. So by having this planning tool, not only for your pathways levels or your pathways program, it'll also help you keep track of where you're at on becoming a distinguished Toastmaster. And this is included with your handouts. Any
Okay.
questions? Okay, perfect.
When you do your work and you create a situation where you have demonstrated what it is that you want to demonstrate and you've finished a path, Pathways actually lets your people know. They go up to your boss and send out this really nice letter.
So once you complete a level on any pathway, levels 3, 4, and 5, you have the opportunity to send a letter to your boss or your employer. Myself, I have my own business, but I was curious because I told you I'm passionate about pathways. What does one of these letters look like? So this, I believe I had completed level 4 of the persuasive influence path. But if you start reading, it tells your boss or yourself. I use this with my curriculum vitae just to let everybody know how much of an influencer I am. So completing level 4 on this path demonstrates the willingness to contribute to the Toastmasters organization and a commitment to accomplishing goals. The projects that make up the higher levels of the persuasive influence path focuses on building strong interpersonal and leadership skills while working with the team to overcome challenges. Along with the continued emphasis on public speaking, the member created a complex plan and managed possible risks to the plans. I think you can read the rest, but who doesn't want their boss to know that they can do that without proving it? Another thing that the pathways give you when you complete, next slide, please. So you get a certificate of proficiency when you complete your entire path. And I don't know about you, but I saw Susanna Wong and she's got like 14 of these behind her in a bookshelf. And I was like, wow, no wonder she's so good at what she does. Frame them, print them, say you want it, and use them. There's also these badges that you can purchase to put next to your email signatures.
I have been out there in the world a little bit and I'm starting to build a little bit of a speaking career. And when I tell people that I've been in Toastmasters, they're like, oh, you got this. It was a dead end. I'm Toastmasters done. I don't need to know anything else. So to show this proficiency and to build your skills really does help out there in the real world. We have one more slide. I believe you have this slide. I checked all these links. They do work, especially the one that says to Susan Thompson.
So the Pathways support group meets the second Wednesday and fourth Monday of every month. It will get you past any hiccup you have, regardless if it's online or you just need to know how to motivate your members.
It's really cool. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I showed up once and it really is, how you doing? What are your questions? It is personal mentoring in Pathways. Who doesn't want that?
Brian, I also want to say there are so many YouTube links that will help you if you need to. If you just let's visit Basecamp here, this 2-minute and 18-second YouTube, it's going to show you how to complete a project and what goes next.
Is this for a specific channel that has all these videos on it, or are all the videos kind of spread around?
They're spread around. Different people make these videos from different districts across the world.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty cool. With that, we've completed our presentation for the day.
We'd just like to thank the people that helped us do this. Our Techmeister, Jeannie, Lance, the moderator, Kathy, goddess of all things. Thank you all for the help and allowing us to play with you for an hour today.
And don't forget to go to the Pathways Support Group today at 3:20. Does anybody, let's open the mic. We can have an open conversation. We still have an additional 15 minutes.
Yes, you do.
Go ahead, AJ.
So could you share that, that version 5 document? Could you share that on the screen?
Yes, I could. You'll have to give me a minute to go get it. Do you have a specific question about it?
Well, I want to look at 3 different paths, and I want
Okay.
you guys to tell me what you think about these 3 different paths, why I would consider them.
Okay.
So if you could go to dynamic leadership first.
There we are.
All right. So with dynamic leadership, it looks like everything for level 1 and level 2 is pretty much the same, but level 3 has a required project called Negotiate the Best Outcome. What's that all about?
Let's go see.
The purpose of this project is to learn about different types of negotiation and the strategies that can be used when negotiating. Develop a 5 to 7 minute speech about a past or upcoming negotiation in your life. The negotiation must be one that you have participated in or will participate in. You may choose to reflect on the strategies you used for those that you believe would be the most beneficial in the future. Your speech can be persuasive, humorous, informational, or crafted in any style that appears to you to support the speech. Now, of course, while you're on your path, they give you those tools.
Well, you're in
Right,
the
but that might not be a good match for me. How
okay.
about persuasive influence? What's that path look like?
Now let's see what we do here without. Oh, see, we didn't do it. Here we go. Persuasive influence, she says. And I also wanted to say that inside of that path, it goes into in-depth, different ways of motivational speaking or whatever it was that we were just talking about.
Persuasive influence, yes. The nice thing about this catalog is all of the paths are in alphabetical order, so you can skim through them really quickly.
What's your question on this one?
So that level 3 has understanding conflict resolution. What's that all about?
Tell
Again,
us what it's about, AJ. Can you read it?
Nah, I'm a little too old for this.
it helps you to understand steps and strategies to address conflict within the path. On Pathways online, there will be 3 or 4 or 5 videos explaining different types of strategies, actually having people stand up and emulating that for you so that you can understand either what you want to do, what you don't want to do, or there's a good idea of what you can do. When you go through this path, then you kind of put it into the space where it applies to you, you understand it, and then again, you twice bake it by giving a speech about it. Then you really own some conflict resolution strategies.
It is really funny, AJ, that you bring up this project because I'm just about complete with this path. However, when I got to the video that came with this project, it was 3 people in an office, the video, and they went through, they wanted to remodel their reception area. So the one lady that was the boss and getting the opinions of 2 different people, they all went in the other direction. And I would have been the boss that took all 3 of their ideas and then come up with my own conclusion, whatever I thought was best. However, the video said stop. She went through And then she went back to all three to come up with a way to resolve the conflict. And all three of them all agreed. We're just going to paint. We're going to change some pillows. And I was like, boy, I would have, as the leader of this group, I just would have taken their opinions and made my own decision. But it was a really great lesson for me.
That sounds great. You know, I'm seeing how I've got like this whole family here. I've got Kim and Dave and Susan. All these people can help me. But wait a minute, there's one more path I'm interested in. How about the effective coaching? What's that all about?
Your level 3 is reaching consensus. Your level 4 is improvement through positive coaching. And then your level 5 is actually showing how it works, demonstrating the expertise that you have gained over the rest of the path.
So that high performance leadership project, what's that?
Does it have a 360?
It has a 360 evaluation resources, 2 5 to 7 minute speeches, an overview, a meeting agenda. Select a project to complete with a team of at least 3 other members. Form a guidance committee, which is kind of an overview committee, and meet at least 5 times for the duration of the project. So what you do is you give a 5 to 7 minute speech explaining what you're going to do, and then a 5 to 7 minute speech at the end to show what you did do.
I don't know. Let me check with my pal here, Brian. Brian, which path do you think is the path calling to you?
I'll start with dynamic leadership.
What? Brian, you've been able to go further than any Toastmaster has been able to go before. You have selected your path right here, right now, during this session, with the help of all of these people in this Pathways. Kathy Hughes, this is Toastmasters first for LACE.
That is a big kudos to Brian for
Is that like
selecting a
initiation to
path.
Toastmasters? Like,
Yay,
Well,
Brian.
there's more of an initiation when you come into Toastmasters and the entire club promises that they're going to help you meet your goals and reach your goals. But
okay,
this
that's
is
good.
just a taste of it.
All right, Brian.
Do we have, we're on a yellow. Do we have any additional questions before we hit our red card on timing?
You had that one slide with those YouTube links. Are there other YouTube links that you guys have access to?
I believe that the slides are going to be in that. All the slides and everything are in the chat.
So Brian.
And you can get back to us if you like. We can help you offline. I'm happy to do that.
Okay, yeah, it's a little tough on the iPad, but I'm getting most of these links.
Okay.
So we're going to also, you've registered, we're going to send you the handouts that will get you to the links. And you heard Kathy speak earlier about finding tools on a Google search. So
Yeah,
if there's an area, you can't get to Susan's workshops on the different nights that are there. If there's an area that you're having a problem with and your VPE can't get you to the next step, Google is the greatest source. So let's say you're stuck completing level 1 and advancing to level 2. I would simply go into Google and in the Google bar, type in, how do I complete a level 1 on Pathways Leadership Program? And you are going to have so many resources come up. I can guarantee you that there'll be 2 or 3 different YouTube videos that will address that.
And let me also.
My tip to you before Dave, my tip to you is to pick the newest one to the date that you're Google searching, because the
Okay.
old ones will be the old website, and Toastmasters keeps updating the website to make it more user friendly for people like you and I.
Oh, so are you saying like Google it to find the website link on Toastmasters? Oh, you're not saying outside sources.
It,
Okay.
it may point you back to Toastmasters to go to the actual URL, but it's just hard to search the Toastmasters website as easily and quickly as it is through just the Google search.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I'm here. Like the website was pretty hard to navigate.
As long as you
How-
put pathways and Toastmasters in the words, it should only give you the Toastmasters pathways material.
Okay.
One other
No.
tip for you, Dave, if you could go to open up the Toastmasters website.
We've got red showing right now. We'll have to
If
get
you
back.
could just open the Toastmasters website, there's a box right on the home page called resources with videos and links, and I think it would really help Brian. So if you could just show him really quick, and then we can close down our meeting, because I know we've got another meeting starting.
I would also like to suggest, Brian, that you talk to people in your club, your mentors and your VPE, because that's what they're here for. And one of the things that
Okay.
people who mentor say that no one ever asks them questions.
Click
I
on
didn't know there
welcome,
were
Dave.
mentors.
There's the
Click
cert.
on welcome. No, just click on welcome, Dave, please. Go to my home. Thank you. Click on my home.
Looking,
Please.
we're waiting.
Yeah, it's got the circle up
The
there.
TIs, it's a little slow today.
That's because we didn't pay the hamsters.
So if you click on my home and it catches up,
There.
right, here we go. Go down,
Down.
Learning Hub. You go into the Learning Hub,
Up, 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 up.
it's the set right there. If you click on Learning Hub, there are videos and links there that will help you with just about anything you need on the Toastmasters sites.
I'm just so glad to have a fellow dynamic leadership pathway person now with me on my journey. Thanks, Kim.
You're gonna love it. Everybody, thank you for joining us today. There are lots of other programs to go to end your afternoon, and we hope to see you all passionate about pathways. Join my team.
Bye, Brian. Good luck.
Thank you,
Kim.
everybody, for your help in coming to see us today. I'm gonna go get my haircut. Bye.
Thanks, folks.
All right, bye.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Kim. Thanks for
Thank
being
you.
here. And thank you
Bye.
for attending our session today. Please provide your feedback using the link in the chat, and we'll hope to see you at the Pathways Support Group at 3:20 today. Take
Bye-bye.
care, folks. Okay, I'm going to leave and I'm going to go to my next thing. Good to see you, Jean.
There we go.
One thing I wished I could have said. They talk about all the videos that give the demonstrations. Try doing that with paper manuals.
Yeah.